So let's talk about pricing yourself as a creative. This is something that a lot of creatives talk about. And also I think a lot of creatives are kind of lost or stuck when it comes to pricing. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing 5 important lessons I've learned over all of my years of doing a bunch of different types of creative work. So I'm not going to waste your time. Let's get straight into it, y'all. The first important lesson I've learned is to say no more. Now these days I say no a lot, and I mean a lot, because I understand the importance of saying no. And there was a time to where I said yes to too many things. I said yes to things that I didn't want to do. It just did nothing for me, and I think that's one of the worst routes you can take, because you're going to start to hate what you do. You're just not going to be happy doing the service, and if you don't want to do it, I don't think you should do it. I just feel like certain creative projects are just not worth the time and energy, especially if maybe you have a client that's kind of lowballing you. They don't want to pay you your price. You have some clients like that. You tell them a price and maybe they come at you with a lower price. I don't do that. That tells me right there that you're not the type of person that I want to work with. And mainly because that person is just focused on price. Right. And I get it. Some clients are like that. Right. And I understand that you have to even know if you can afford that service. But I think from what I've seen in my experience with working with clients is when they're just focused on price, it just doesn't align with me, because I want clients that are focused on the result that they're trying to get or what they're trying to achieve, and not just the price, if that makes sense. So anyways, don't be afraid to say no. I think it actually makes you feel better to say no more. And just knowing that you don't have to work on a project that just doesn't align with you and it doesn't give you any excitement, or you just don't want to work with that client. All right, so the second important lesson I've learned is to focus less on the price and focus more on what the client is looking to get from your service and just what they're looking to achieve from working with you. Now, this right here is a complete game changer, for me at least. I think as a newer creative, I think we just focus solely on the price. And it shows. Like, we talk about it. It's just the main thing that we always revert to. It's the price. When what you really should be focused on is the client, the pain points, the things that they came to you for, the things that they're trying to achieve by getting your service. And I think that little shift of just focusing on, switching that focus makes a huge difference. It's helped me so much when it comes to just that conversation of I'm having with the client before they even choose to work with me, and just not even really talking about price. Like, I do a lot of sales calls now. I've done them in the past with the photography business, but now more so than ever, it's like I don't even really talk about price. It's more so just focused on the client's needs, what they're trying to achieve, and just what they're looking for. And I find when you focus on those things, I've just seen a better conversion rate and just honestly just making more money, because I'm focused more on just what they are trying to get out of it and just showing them that this service can get you the results that you're looking for. Okay, so the third lesson that I've learned, and people may agree with this is controversial, I think, because it goes against what a lot of people say, and that is it's okay to start low, but it's not okay to stay at a low price. And this is more so for my newer people who are getting into creative work or a creative side hustle or whatever. And when you're new at these things, it is so hard. Just pricing in general is hard, but it is so hard to price yourself at a pretty good rate, because you're new, you're learning. You don't have that confidence yet. You don't probably have a lot of work to back up the price. So because of that, you're just going to revert to lower prices to get these clients and to get you in the door. Let's be real. And I think that's okay in the beginning, because like I said, you don't have all these things to kind of back up your price, the reviews, the clientele, the portfolio. And we all have to start somewhere, right? You can't start off at this crazy high amount when you just don't have the experience and you don't have the portfolio to back that up. I just think it's a good way to kind of get your foot in the door, build your experience, get better at your skills and what you're delivering, and kind of just build that initial client base. But as you start to get more experience, get more clients, invest in yourself, get better at the skill, of course you should raise your prices. Because I don't agree with people just staying at a low price, because I think when you look at the bigger picture, it's kind of hurting that industry, right? If you have a lot of people just staying at that low price. So as you get better, as you get more experience, as you gain more confidence, you should definitely raise your prices. All right, so lesson number 4. And I don't even know, does this go against what I just said? I don't know, but we're going with it. And I said, whatever you think you should charge more. Now, I think this is an important one, because I think just a lot of us, especially if you're new, you're going to think that you're not worth the price. It's just something that we say to ourselves, right? Especially if you don't have a lot of experience, and you think if you raise it, it's just too much and people just aren't going to book with you and work with you. But in a lot of situations from clients I've worked with, it's just been too many times where I've said to myself, I should have charged more. And I think you come to that realization when you really sit and think about what it took for you to learn that skill set. And also with a lot of stuff that I do, the amount of time that it takes, the amount of work that goes into it. And I think in a lot of cases, we don't think about that. We just think that if we charge that rate that we really want to charge, we think nobody's going to buy. And I'll be honest with y'all, even recently, I found myself thinking this, like I should charge more. Like I've been doing this for years. I'm recently full-time if you've watched my other recent video, but even now, like I'm looking at, services that I offer and prices, and I'm like, I could charge more. And I'm saying that because of, the amount of work that goes into it and just my specific skill set when it comes to certain things. But even, in some cases presenting a proposal to some clients and they don't even bat an eye at it. And that alone right there tells me like, okay, this, if there's not any resistance, that kind of tells me that I need to be charging a little bit more. But to sum that up, charge more. People will pay. You probably think they won't, but trust me, they will. And the last lesson, this is very important, is to consider everything in your price. So when I say that, don't just think of the time, because I think some creatives just think of the amount of time it takes to do the service, and they're like, how can I charge $100 if it just took me 30 minutes to complete the service? But you're not just charging for the time, right? You're charging for the skill set. You're charging for the experience and the time that it took you to learn that skill set. Like a doctor, for example, like you have specialized doctors, they go to school for a long time. Like their price isn't just, obviously it's in what they do, but it's the amount of time and education that it takes them to become that specialized doctor. That goes into how much they make. When it comes to pricing, don't just think about the amount of time, think about how long it took you to learn that skill, how much you've invested in yourself to be able to do that skill. Think about your taxes, your expenses, the investments you want to make back into your business. These are things that you have to think about. And a lot of people don't think about this stuff, specifically taxes. Like you can get in trouble if you're not careful when it comes to your taxes and if you're not putting aside money for your taxes. And with expenses too, for your business, you need to be thinking about that, because if you're not doing these numbers and thinking about that, you could not even be making profit because maybe your expenses are too high, right? So the money that you think you're making, you're just giving that money to your business expenses and the things that you use to run your business. So you're not really making profit. So these are things that you need to think about when it comes to pricing your work. What are some lessons that you've learned when it comes to pricing your creative work? I want to see what y'all have to say. Leave a comment and let me know. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop it a like. If you got value from it, subscribe to the channel. I'll see you on my next video. Peace.